All right, thank you for coming to my senior project presentation. Today I'm going to be demonstrating a web application designed for invoicing between Daytona Auto Services and Panda Transportation. So the goal of this project was to create a web application that would be able to store invoices created by Daytona Auto Services in a way that employees from both Daytona Auto Services and Panda Transportations can see them and keep track of what work's been going on. The requirement for this application is that all users can view invoices in vans. Daytona employees need to be able to create, edit, and update invoices. And Panda employees can create, edit, and update vans. Your mic's going through. Okay. The personal project outcomes that I hope to discuss is that I wanted to be able to become more resourceful, stay driven, and complete my project and be an effective communicator. One of the ways that I could show that I could keep accountable is this is a measurement of time that I have spent working on this application over the past few months. I used a website called Clockify that has clocked me in at 131 hours worth of work on this project. And all that's studying, working, and striving to do what I can. And I will talk about some of the roadblocks that I may have had while doing this. So to go on with this, this is the start of the application. It's going to be the home page is going to be a login page. You don't want anyone to do anything until they are logged in. The first thing I will demonstrate is being able to create a user. When creating a user, you're taken to a register page where you can put in your name. For example, let's do my client, Marcos. We're going to do, it requires a last name and email. We're going to do a password. And you have to confirm your password. I was able to make it so that it checks that. And then you're going to select which company you say you want to join. So when you click register, you're going to see that it takes you to a special landing page where you'll see that if you're reading this, it means an admin hasn't approved your role yet. What this demonstrates is I didn't want people from either company being able to just create users and for the other company being able to manipulate each other's data. You don't want Panda Transportation, who needs to pay the invoices, to be able to edit and change amounts. And I wanted to give, and I didn't want Daytona editing the vans. I want that to be up to the company that owns them to do that. When you click to register, an email will be sent, and it'll come in a while. That'll be sent to the admin saying that a user has requested permission to join a certain role. So if I log out, here's the email now. You'll see that I got an email from Daytona Web Services that says Marcos Caceres, who has the email, and I use this as an identifier, Daytona Auto Services, is applying for the Daytona role on my website so that I can review it. So whenever someone does that, I can log in, and I'm going to log in as an admin user right now. And when I do, I can go to a special admin panel where I can see a list of users and the roles, security roles that they are given. So I can see here that the user we just created, Marcos Caceres, is waiting for a role assignment. Because of the email, I know what he wants, so I'll go to Edit Roles, assign him to Daytona, and submit it. So now you can see here that he is put under the user's role in the application. If I sign out and sign back in using his information, you can now see that instead of being brought to the page before that said you're waiting assignment, he now successfully logs into the application. The landing page for the application displays a list of all the 10 most recent invoices that are in the database. Each one of them is clickable so that you can pull up a more detailed information about each estimate. For example, the estimate number, the company they're working for. This will be like the plate number, the car make model, VIN number, and other important information. When you are a Daytona user, you'll have the ability to see this is a broad description of the invoice and more detailed information. With each invoice, you're going to be able, the client needed to be able to add parts and labors, and I'll show how a user can do that in just a second. If we wanted to add an invoice, all you have to do is click add an invoice and you can choose any invoice number. Well, that's within 5 digits because that follows my client's pattern. You can select a day. We'll say April 1st. They have the option to put in the name of the driver who has the van. We're going to put in, we can put in a random VIN number that has around 17 characters. 16 to 17 characters. We can put in a mileage. So we'll say that this vehicle has actually, if I'm going to edit it, we have to use a VIN number of a vehicle that already exists. So this invoice is going to be for this vehicle number 10. The mileage is going to be 125,000. And we're going to say the total cost of this is going to be $70. Let's say that we're doing a synthetic oil change. So now when we come to the details, we have the ability, Brother Thane, you'll know that I used a form full of forms in order to make this. And it's actually modular. You can add or take away from it. And what we can do is let's add the labor. So we're going to say we changed the oil and that it cost us $20. Let's say that we want a part. We're going to say synthetic oil. And let's say we can pull up a list of vendors that the client uses. The client also has the ability to add a new vendor and it'll be put into the database. For now, we'll just select WorldPack and say that this costs $50. If we click create, then we will now be taken to the invoice detail page where you can see it successfully added these details as well as the whole invoice. So that's what's been going on with the invoices section. For the vans section, I wanted to be able to display all the vans in a way that you can quickly get all the information. I didn't feel you needed a whole page just to see this van information, but I am able to list all the invoices that come with each van. I've also created cookies that'll allow it that if you leave and come back, you can see that it remembers which van you were looking at while you were gone. Now, if we were going to be put under, well, actually, before I change, we also have the ability to filter through invoices too. For example, let's say that we want to search for oil changes. You could oil change, and you'll click enter, and you can receive a list back of all the invoices that have oil change in them. You can also search by other criteria, such as van number. So if I want to see what's from van number 10, you can do that. Or if you want to search within dates. So let's say we're going to do June 1st, 2018. Anything after that, you can search, and all invoices after then will appear. When you log in, I want to demonstrate now the security checks on the Panda. When you log in as a Panda user, as you can see, the first thing you'll notice is that there's no longer an option for a Panda user to create invoices. A Panda user can come and look at an invoice, but they don't need to see the details and where every part was. That information's for the shop, but they can see the general description of any invoice and the total amount that's going to be owed. You also, when you click on here as a Panda employee, you can see now I have the options to create vans, delete vans, and edit vans. Wherein, for example, I can create any van through here. I can delete vans, and when I click on to delete either an invoice or a van, I didn't show this before, we get a pop-up notification telling the user that when you do a delete action, it cannot be undone. In my applications, there's no way to recover information that has been deleted. And so this acts as a second warning to make sure the user knows before they continue on. Or we can actively edit any van. Let's say we want to update the mileage to 250,000 instead of 200,000. You can see here it actively updates it. And all that information comes through the database. So that is the overall concept behind this invoicing, so that users can always work or view each other's data, but each can only work with their own data. Oh, the van filtering also works. You can do it by either van number, or you can do it by year, model, and this one is a more active filter. So that is my application. Are there any questions regarding anything that I have talked about?
Great job, dude. This looks awesome. Very professional.
Thank you.
Yeah, really, really nice. Really well done. A lot of little tidbits, a lot of little helps for the user experience, right? So not only the UI sharp and clean, but just like that delete, right? That confirm delete, those kind of things are helpful, so that you don't accidentally click something. I like the idea of looking at a van and seeing all the work that's been done on it all on the same screen. Very compact.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that all looks really good.
One thing I wanted to make sure was happening. If each, I know it's not demonstrated now, but if the list was longer than 10 invoices, we do have pagination that can go on where you go and you can keep seeing a list of 10 at a time.
Yeah, that's great.
My wife has a question, she said. You can ask it.
It's good, the system, I like, it's very good. Ya, me gusta el sistema, cómo puedo buscar rápidamente, ya sea por números, o sea por VIN numbers, o por poniendo la marca del auto, me sale toda la historia. Eso es lo que me gusta.
He basically says that he likes how fast it is and how easy and simple it is to look up information, specifically when they're working on cars. And most of the time drivers are on a time limit, and so are the administrators. So they want information easily accessible and visually pleasing as well. So he likes that everything shows up. For example, on the van side, you can see all the van lines and all the invoices worked on, so they can easily tell what van and invoice they have they've worked on. Also a time frame, or maybe how much cost they see on each car. And since we're always on a time limit when working on these cars, all this information, anything that saves time is always helpful for us.
Yes, me gusta.
So he likes it, and he really likes it a lot.
It's very good.
Bueno, yo entendí todo.
Thank you.
¿Le entendí algo más?
Sí, sí. Está bien.
Awesome. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it, and that's it for my presentation unless there's any other questions. Thank you so much for coming by.